Good morning, everybody. I'm Marcello Ziliani, designer and professor of the product design laboratory of the third year at the University of Design in San Marino. This year, together with my collaborator Mattia Vettorello and 30 students, we have explored the theme of the ocean, specifically the goal number 14, Life Below Water, of the Sustainable Development Goals 2030 of the United Nations. Like in the previous years, we start from the underlying principles of system-centered design to arrive to the design of effective solutions. We apply methodologies such as design thinking, lateral thinking, and behavioral design, and instill the concepts of sustainability as an absolute reference, of course. The video that follows tells the story of the approach we took to get to the 10 final projects. Then, 5 groups, selected for the greater proximity of their project with the themes of the Biennale, will describe their project in more detail. Thank you very much to everybody and enjoy.
At the University of Design of San Marino, the third-year Product Design Lab's theme was born of serendipity. Francesca Santoro, oceanographer and head of UNESCO Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission program, leads the Ocean Literacy Project, which is part of United Nations Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainability Development. Francesca promotes the Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainability Development, aiming to develop Generazione Oceano. Francesca notes Generazione Oceano is a new generation that has the ocean and its broader ecosystem at heart. Generazione Oceano builds on the Sustainable Development Goal 2030, number 14, Life Below Water, which aims to develop and implement solutions to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas, and marine resources. As final year students, the underlying value of Generazione Oceano seemed to be a perfect theme to research, ideate, and experiment possible product solution using design thinking as an innovative approach. Two are the underlying principles of any innovative thinking: an exploratory curiosity and a specific mindset of doubting what is in front of you. Design thinking encourages that and provides methodological tools to do so. In short, design thinking is a creative approach to innovation. It consists of cognitive, strategic, and practical processes through which innovative solutions to complex problems are generated. By applying this innovative approach, we set out in search of effective solutions, even if little, that could make a sound contribution to the wonderful ocean's world. We thus started an ambitious and challenging journey. Starting from understanding the identified challenges, we carried out in-depth research that led us to discover things we knew only superficially or did not know at all. Through open conversation and group discussions, lively brainstorming and mind maps, we tried to explore the complexity of such interconnected ecosystem. We mainly use expert interview as a method to quickly and effectively gather key knowledge. We conducted multiple interviews with specialists, practitioners, and experts in the field, capable of generating narratives and images, highlighting fundamental ideas which are often concealed. These insights functions are the backbone of the ideation. They are the possible starting points to define problems and opportunity areas from which it is possible to explore promising innovation paths, leading to the design of interesting solutions, insight, images. At this point, a key question was how might we design possible interventions to the identified challenge that has become clearer and more defined because of the previous steps. Through several iterative phases and the generation of prototypes during the product development journey, we design a final prototype which highlights the qualities and needed further development of the idea. 10 problems, 10 groups, 10 projects, each one different, each one useful, each one open to further developments, improvements, declinations. Each project was encapsulated in a book narrating the research and design journey, and in a poster which summarizes the key aspects.
Each reef is a modular adaptable project which addresses the problem of coastal erosion and damaging of marine habitats. Is composed of elements that can be combined with extreme freedom of assembly to create a vast range of diverse configurations in terms of composition, dimensions, and extensions. Its small size makes it easy to store and remove, and extremely adaptable to any type of seabed.
UPAC takes care of the ocean by focusing on reducing the large amount of cigarette butts that end up washed into it, with a behavioral design approach. A sleek second skin wraps around the cigarette packet, becoming a functional portable ashtray that avoids scattering the butt around. You can no longer have the excuse you forgot the ashtray at home.
Filter Fender proves how two functions can be effectively merged, one of which is Virtus. Developed on the basis of the airless tires concept, an innovative fender for sailing boats houses a filter which collects pollutants and especially microplastics while sailing at an angle.
Offshore aims to create awareness and enhance the protection of the marine environment through the logic of edutainment. A zero-impact floating amusement park is designed from customizable modules that can be freely combined, creating such floating environment on which people can have fun, experiment and explore ocean-related topics and their challenges.
OceanMate wants to be an enjoyable and meaningful activity to do during the long downtime on board of commercial ships. The plastic waste produced by the crew, as well as the one collected at sea during navigation, is transformed into the pieces of a marine-inspired chessboard that can be sold or given as a gift to those who stayed at home.
Filling funnel is a solution to drains of fuel drops during the refilling of motor-sized boat, which eventually end up in the water. As a resizable silicone funnel prevents harmful spills by adapting to different sizes of diesel and petrol nozzles. It has an ergonomic wooden handle designed to keep attention during refueling, avoiding accident spills.
Bla Bla Balena aims to raise children's awareness on the neglected problem of noise pollution in the seas, which threatens the lives of cetaceans. A whale made of an eco-sustainable polymer projects stories onto the ceiling of a preschool child's room. The children can interact to save the mother and her baby from the dangers that threaten them.
Ocean Tutor is an integrated system to provide support to marine protected areas. A buoy anchored to a marine restocking module by means of a rope which functions as oil absorbent, detects and reports vessels violating entry and speed restrictions. A connected app allows the registration of visitors and provides them with useful information on regulations and characteristics of the surrounding area.
Chestin is designed to be adaptable to fit all washing machine baskets to prevent the dispersion of microplastic released from clothing. An Econin filter wraps around a light and flexible bamboo frame to facilitate the positioning and removal for cleaning.
Is intended to replace the unattractive and difficult-to-use canisters used as floating support for the wire nets, on which corals is formed destined to repopulate the devastated reefs. A turtle's recycled polymer carapace is used to regulate the amount of air that keeps the coral farming balanced. The turtle's cork head is removable, containing the maintenance tools.
This is Offshore, the Ocean Fanfare. Working on a project to help protect the ocean was stimulating, but also overwhelming. Researching the importance of this ecosystem, the dangers it faces, and the possible consequences of those dangers really brings home the reality and urgency of the situation. We were lucky enough to interview people who are professionally involved in this matter. A marine biologist for National Geographic, a researcher and educator at Catholic Aquarium, a former ecologist MEP. The interviewees highlighted various problems: the growing presence of microplastic in the water, the uncontrolled exploitation of fish resources, the widespread public mistrust of renewable energy sources, etc. For some of these problems, concrete and feasible solutions already exist, but in general, each solution has an essential starting point as a requirement to create a common awareness and sensitivity on the subject. Our solution has two keywords: edutainment and gamification. Offshore is a leisure facility where visitors can learn while having fun, an amusement park that offers playful activities aimed at education and raising awareness. The idea of creating a floating and mobile structure was also suggested by Art. The Floating Piers by Christo and Jean-Claude gave us the concept of a temporary installation which, if necessary, could be moved and replicated in different places. Also from Christo and his The London Mastaba comes the idea of creating floating structures by reusing oil drums as a symbol of the transition from old to new approaches to nature. For the superstructures, we hypothesized the use of an excellent sustainable material, bamboo, which is very present in the architecture, from the most rudimentary structures to works of the highest aesthetic value. Offshore is therefore a modular structure. The small modules that make up floating islands can always be configured in different ways to offer varied attractions in order to adapt best to the conformation and the needs of the place where it's installed. Here are some of the proposed activities. These activities range from the observation of marine animal and plant species to the production of energy from renewable sources, from the collection and recycling of plastics to refreshment points that offer ethical cuisine that respects the season availability of raw materials. And now I'd like to show you how you would feel walking through offshore. Thank you for your attention. I hope you liked it.
Today I will talk to you about Turtle, a project on coral reef care. This is our team composed by me, Alessia, and other two girls, Laura and Olga. Turtle is the result of 6 months research focusing on the causes of coral reefs disappearance. Reefs are an ideal habitat for many species, protect the coast from erosion, and transform CO2 in the ocean into calcium carbonate. Their disappearance is mainly due to climate change, for which one of the consequences is coral bleaching that leads the reef to death. One current solution is to have dedicated nurseries for coral farming, which will then be placed in the damaged areas of the reef. These nurseries are positioned on the ocean bed and composed of a wire mesh, a plastic barrier that keeps them in balance, and concrete blocks to keep them underwater. Volunteering divers use some simple tools to look after the development of the reef, as well as the nursery's maintenance. We ran several interviews to better understand this process, and we found interesting difficulties and pain points that influence an effective maintenance. Turtle is designed to improve the volunteering divers' experience by simplifying the operation needed to conduct such work. We focus on the diver's need, giving a purpose to each part of Turtle. The main structure of the turtle is made of recycled cork, the carapace is made of recycled plastic, the head zone is designed to keep the tools used to clean the nursery. The joint is made of recycled foam and has a safety belt to prevent losing them. The head can be removed from the structure, permitting the diver to move it to other nurseries as it was a bag. So when he finishes the work, he can replace it in the main structure where there is the neck with a joint and a magnet. The carapace uses the principle of Archimedes. Its concave shape permits to have a hollow inner part that maintains the nursery floating. At the top, there is a valve used to balance the air to lower the wire mesh. To raise it, the diver releases the air from its dispenser inside the concave part. Here we have some examples of its functionalities. The project's name is Turtle Coral Care, and it can be summarized with 3 keywords. Sustainable, it's made of recycled materials. Versatile, it has more functions. And intuitive, it's easy and straightforward to use. Thank you.
Welcome everyone, I'm Annette Tuani, and today I'd like to present you the Each Reef project. The team project unites the 3 characteristics in which we identify ourselves: the hipster, the hostler, and the hacker. The first step that we made was to conduct a general research and to interview university researchers and people who deal with the ocean daily. The interviewers were grouped on topics like fishing, ecosystem, and flora, from which we discovered several insights to arrive at the design development. The main problem that each reef faces is coastal erosion, a process that reshapes shorelines through ocean currents and damaging marine habitats, both seen as an environmental and economic threat. The project is focused on protection of ecosystem and its repopulation, on the improvement of water quality, on awareness about the loss of habitats, on recreational fishing, and financial return given by safeguard of the coasts and their economic activities. Each reef is also a possibility to conduct researches on specific spaces. Each reef is a modular and sustainable project, which means it can be combined easily, and the sea-friendly concrete doesn't bother the water's chemical balance. Its small size also makes it easy to store and move, optimizing times and costs. The organic shape of different H-reef models matches the marine environment. The model has simple forms and functional components. The following images represent how each reef will be transported and placed. As we can see, the composition of each reef simulates how it adapts to both sandy and rocky seabed, thanks to its modularity. Our presentation ends here, so thanks for watching.
Hello, I'm going to present you Bla Bla Balena. Our team is made up of 3 students, Sara, Giacomo, and Sofia. The central theme of our project is the impact of noise pollution on cetaceans. After researching about the cetacean way of communication and about the harmful activities of humans, we came to the conclusion that there is a big problem, of which little is known inside the ocean, that there is the noise pollution. The human-made problem is caused by activities of perforation, means of transport, and tourist activities. The noise caused by these activities affects negatively the cetaceans' lives, treating their communication, disorienting them, and causing health problems. Not being able to solve these problems by acting directly on cetaceans, we decide to center the project on raising the awareness of children by educating them and encouraging a responsible behavior in order to improve the cetaceans' health. In this way, the project becomes a life partner of children, not only lulling them gently to sleep, but also creating a playful interaction during the day. The shape of the object is that of a stylized whale, taken as a symbol of all cetaceans, and it highlights in an intuitive way to which inhabitants of the ocean the project is referring to. We call the project Bla Balena. It's a container of illustrated stories which narrates different moments of a cetacean's life. Stories are inside an analog disc that requires the kid to interact with the whale. This can be easily and safely inserted inside the balena. The project is made of eco-sustainable polymer, making the surface slightly uneven to the touch. Additionally, the inclination of the object can be adjusted so the story can be projected in many walls or ceilings. The illustrations were made to be comprehensible to children and printed on acetate paper to be inserted inside a disc. Through light sources and especially designed internal mechanism, the illustrations are projected into the child's bedrooms. There are two different uses available to the child. The active use indicates the phase in which the child can interact with the projected illustration and is able to personally help and save the cetacean in a moment of danger by caressing the object. The passive use concerns the sound and illustration, lulling the child to sleep. The stories was the structure of a fairy tale and is accompanied by melodies and sound made by cetaceans. During the narration, these sounds are interrupted by strong noises representative of the human activities that put the depicted cetacean in danger. La Balena offer disc containing stories representing various types of cetaceans, showing their life and their problems they encounter. Children can choose which story to play, so to have a different educational experience. The core theme of the project is to raise children's awareness of noise pollution in the oceans through the descriptive languages of illustration. Moreover, to indicate them about its consequences on the cetaceans. La Balena thus creates an emotional bond with children who gain familiarity with such problems in order to create a better future. Thank you.
Our project is Ocean Mate. Our team is composed by me, Filippo, Pier Lorenzo, and Massimo. Initially, we went through a process of thinking about what we could do and research for this theme. And as you can see, we went through a lot of experimentation and interesting insights that we pulled out from the theme as well. So every year, 570,000 tons of plastic are thrown into the Mediterranean Sea. The goal of Ocean Mate, our project, is to involve people into the process of reusing plastic. Considering pivotal the human role in our mission, we decided to choose the game as principal tool to spread our idea through a process of gamification, but we're gonna see it in a moment. Our concern about the plastic cannot be immediately solved, obviously, because it's a serious issue that affects the entire planet. It really takes time and patience to clean the water, and it's nearly impossible, as stated in different studies. We know that. But we think that human contribution in raising awareness and limiting the waste of plastic can make the difference. We focused on a process of gamification, and if I can explain a little bit, gamification is a process that involves the theme of the game and applying it to something real and sometimes serious. So we drew the attention of the community and increased the interest in as many people as possible, making the project looking like a game. Using the spare time of the sea workers during their trips, we invested them with the role of the main character of our story, in this case. We analyzed the different type of workers, such as the lighthouse keeper, the ship's keeper, for example, or the simple fisherman, the good old fisherman that we all know. Let's take this last one as an example. In the past, the figure of the fisherman used to play cards, chess, and board games with his comrades. We wanted to recreate this particular experience, but adding to it a meaningful and useful purpose, the one of recycling plastic, to make in our idea, our expectations, was the one to make a full chess set that was ready to be shared on board or sold to the public, or simply played with friends and family. As you can see from the presentation, we went through a lot of steps here with a little how can I say, the crew has to make these steps. That's not something that we singularly can achieve. So the plastic is collected from the bins of the boat, and as well mixed with the one found in the sea nets. The plastic is shredded then into pieces, cleaned, and transformed into little flakes of plastic. These flakes are mixed into molds with resin, in this case biodegradable resin, and the game board is too, so the board is also made with the same process. When all the chess pieces are extracted from the molds, then the complete set is assembled. The sea worker can play with this chess set, as I said before, or share their products. Passing by to the creation of the shapes of the chess pieces, we took inspiration from the icons of the sea. Our board game, in our board game, you can easily recognize some of the shapes. For example, the seahorses on the left taking the place of knights, or the figurehead as the queen, the ship's boy as the pawn, the lighthouse as the rook. These are the most eye-catching of them. The results turned out to be quite funny, and looking at the recent success of the chess game, the design of the chess set, in this case, aims to remind people of the purpose behind all the project. What's meant to stay, in our opinion, with the customer is not only the object itself, but also the importance of contributing to the safeguard of the ocean. See you, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Filippo. Well done, very interesting. Here it is, it's all. I hope you enjoyed the speech, and overall, thank you to everybody for being here. Bye-bye.